1962, swimming with friends off the coast of Newport. All of them laughing and teasing, splashing around, showing off. The things young people did in the water in the mid-19th century. And still do. They've swum out beyond the surf, and the water is calm and warm. And for a moment, perhaps, Alice James feels free. She is 13, on the cusp of young womanhood and all its accompanying constraints. The water sparkles in the sunshine, rippling around her body. Does she swim the breaststroke to protect her hair? Does she float on her back and look up at the vast blue sky? Or does she dive down deep, eyes open, reveling in a world so different from the one above the surface? Looking back almost 30 years later, Alice wrote in her diary of that vanished girl, lamenting her blank youthful mind, ignorant of catastrophe. I was 26 years old when I first laid eyes on the gold spine of Jean Strauss's Alice James, a Biography, and pulled it down from the shelf. I'd heard about Alice. We had something in common. We'd both been felled by a mysterious fatigue. The book is fragile now. Its cover barely holds onto the spine, and some of the pages are falling out. And most of them bear some kinds of markings. Inside, I see the price, $2.50, still penciled inside the front cover. Someone else had owned the book before me. When I bought it, I took a purple pen to her name, crossed it out, and wrote my own and the year. 1994. I'd been sick for 5 years. I didn't know then that the book was treasure in my hands. It would become my company, my work, my healing. At the time, I was the live-in caretaker of a 1789 historic house museum in Maine. Its substantial perennial garden laid out in measured decorum inside a white picket fence. When I think now of that garden, I see it bursting in the violent bloom of high summer, stands of white liatris spiking the azure sky, gold rudbeckia, 6 feet tall and toppling, aphids on the helianthus, mold on the phlox, weeds overwhelming all the back beds. The garden was too much for me. From the bedroom window on the second floor, I could see the explosion of color, a carnival of red, yellow, purple, and pink. But I rarely looked down upon the garden from the bedroom window, because what I saw more than anything, even from that vantage, was my failure to keep up. For me, the garden was something to be contended with, when I should have been weeding it, taming it, saving it from itself. Instead, I lay in bed in the cool of the oscillating fan, reading about my dead bed comrade, Alice James. In Alice, I met my Victorian counterpart, my kindred spirit. And somehow, reading about her, bright, witty, proud, and stuck, I began coming unstuck. Why was Alice sick? Why was I? From my bed, and with the aid of interlibrary loan and a helpful librarian, I set out on a journey to find some answers. I spent years researching American history, 19th century and contemporary toxicology, biology, medical history, economics, environmental history, sociology, chaos theory, and more. And by the time I finished, things were a whole lot clearer. 99 years before I was born, Alice collapsed. She was 19 years old in 1868, 2 years younger than I would be when illness took me under. Her eldest brother, William, had just given up preparing for a career in medicine and was floundering toward his destiny as the father of American psychology. Henry, who would become one of America's most celebrated authors, had just seen his first story in print. Her brothers Wilkie and Bob were pursuing their own career opportunities 3 years after surviving Civil War.